Welcome to 709 Meridian, an audio commentary podcast. My name's Andrew.
And this is D.
And we have reached the bad times, folks. We will be watching Beverly Hills Cop 3 today. 1994.
1994.
I have not seen this since probably 1994, 1995, possibly when the VHS came out. Whenever that happened. But I don't really know how much I want to preamble it. I think we should just kick into it because we have lots of time to talk during this.
Yeah, because
1 hour and 44 minutes.
it's just
Hey, who knew In Excess couldn't do a Kenny Loggins song? But we can get to that too. Oh God, the chase. John Landis. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Let's just do it. Sorry, folks.
Mhm.
We can't delay. All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Play. So we are back at we're out of Panavision, no Tony Scott here. So most franchises kept their consistent aspect ratio with some change, with some that didn't, but for the most part, once you went very widescreen, you stayed very widescreen. Here we go, Detroit, Michigan, with a time code. I don't know why that's important. We're not going to have a Beverly Hills Cop 3 intro either.
No, not till the end, I don't think.
Yeah. Eddie's outfit looks like I don't understand why they felt they needed the cut or the sleeveless there.
Oh yeah. That was 90s. That was hip with the hoodie.
Oh yeah, he's got the hoodie. This looks like the hoodie's a different layer. We have John Tenney before John Tenney found his home on television.
And the captain.
So now at this point in the movie, when I rewatched it recently, I thought it was PG-13 because Gil Hill's not going to swear, I don't think.
No, he doesn't cuss like. And here we have a responsible grown Axel.
Yep.
He's not a lone wolf.
Nope. He's very. It's like it's Kids' Choice Award Axel Foley in an R-rated movie, basically. For language. Just for language, folks.
Yeah, because this is totally just a hard PG-13.
It is the hardest PG-13, just for language. We're not going to have any significant violence. We are going to have this sequence that shows you how much better Mannequin does things than John Landis.
Oh, no.
See, this actually should be good. This is when I realized that Landis was going to just fucking shit the entire bed on this.
Yeah, it was like, this Beverly Hills Cop, not fucking Blues Brothers. Hey.
Al Young, uncredited, I checked, they don't credit any of the stunt people, probably because the stuntman's union's kind of like, John Landis kills us, right?
It's ridiculous. And they go through a whole thing here. What the fuck?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I remember seeing this in the theater. And then Baby on video. I know I had the first two for the longest.
And so now, this was always regarded as just one of those terrible sequels, and people sort of didn't talk about it. Talking about it with Beverly Hills Cop Axel F has sort of been like kind of a big deal. So this guy, this is our villain here. This is his second appearance, at least on the pod. He was the dipshit cellist in
Ghostbusters, yeah.
Ghostbusters, who potentially is the little baby in two's dad.
Hmm.
However, I don't understand how this like fucking daytime soap villain.
Yeah. When you come off of one and two, and then this dude comes out of the limo,
Right, we had
it's
our
like, what the
Euro
hell?
trash, and now we're just going to. Well, there's so
Some
much.
douche. And he's not even slick.
Who's not slick? He's gonna be like. He's not even um scary.
No, no menace, no nothing. He's just, I don't know if they told him to Jim carry it up or what, but
So we're gonna after two, which had these exquisitely edited action sequences, whether you like Tony Scott or not, right? We then get this garbage editing.
yeah,
It's
what?
just like,
It's cartoonish in this.
mhm.
Oh no.
Yep, there goes Al.
Yeah, cut that shit off.
So let's look at the filmography of our good friend John Landis here. Is this our first John Landis movie?
Oh, it might actually be.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't done any of them.
Mhm.
And it looks like a John Landis. That's another problem with it. It really strays from the Beverly Hills Cop look.
Well, it doesn't just look like a John Landis movie. I'm watching it now and thinking about how much it just looks like all of Landis's sort of establishing shots here are identical to what's the fucking movie? Innocent Blood,
Hmm.
which I love. I love Innocent Blood. Innocent Blood's great. But this was oh, okay. So this was as he was um holy shit, John Landis directed Coming to America?
Yeah.
Totally forgot that. Look at this terrible. So I
Uh,
don't know if Landis thought he was making a different movie, if he was just doing a shitty job, like what. But this is
uh.
John Landis produced the Lost World TV show. Like what? Look
Oh
at this
boy.
great car chase. Into the night. Into the night's great. Oh man. Yeah. Anyway, so
Yeah,
Landis.
I
Uh,
like that one.
Yeah, very hit and miss. Very was he really a stuntman on Once Upon a Time in the West, or is his sexual predator son editing his IMDb? Anyway, that was the other thing, folks. For years we had to deal with his fucking nepo baby, talentless nepo baby kid being around. And then like finally Max, remember?
Yeah.
Years of Max Landis, and then finally he was outed as a total fucking creep. And okay, so also mid 90s, none of these people are wearing bulletproof vests.
No.
Even though bulletproof vests had, long since been standardized at this point. Like two, right? Lethal Weapon 2 had bulletproof vests standardized.
Mm-hmm. Well, three was all about it.
Mm-hmm.
They had the bullets.
Oh
Uh-oh.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. The bullet, yeah. So,
Oh
uh-huh.
shit.
Mhm. I believe that's Joey Travolta there.
Yeah. Amazon Women on the Moon's Joey Travolta.
Oh, okay, is that why?
God dog. Oh, see, he's mean.
He's evil. You tell me Charles Dance wouldn't have done this? They could have gotten him for even cheaper than the last action hero did.
Yeah, somebody just this guy seems almost like a replacement.
Well, we haven't even gotten to Hector Elizondo phoning it in even for Hector Elizondo. Like,
Yeah. Well, Gary Marshall didn't need him for the moment. He
it
just does
still
stuff.
feels like a PG-13 movie.
Yeah,
Like this whole time, it's
it feels like
uh,
Walt Disney's Beverly Hills Cop
mhm.
3.
So now there's something about this amusement park. Did did Paramount actually have an amusement park for a second?
Yeah, they were partnered with Six Flags for a while.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and somehow got permission to use the Warner Brothers characters because that was the weirdest thing. But they did do some Paramount property rides, I think. I think they had Top Gun for a while.
Ronnie Cox says he turned this down because he was killed off. We're gonna see a lot of fucking desperate cameos. Oh wait,
Yeah.
hold on. Where are the rest of my fucking trivia items here?
No, the car's just falling apart.
Yeah, that's the joke. And here's a
And
really
and
shitty In Excess song.
and all they're doing is driving down a alley. First two movies have complete and total like just chaos in an automobile. This is like timid.
So, um, also at this point, this is sort of when Eddie Murphy kind of wanted to do something different, and what he thought he was going to do was a um action hero thing, and he kept trying that. I mean, Metro, right?
Yeah,
Like,
Metro was
but
think I was hard. Beverly Hills Cop, you ain't seen shit in Metro.
oh my god, why is this song so bad? Anyway, um, Joe Dante, Kevin Hooks, and Robert Townsend were all considered to direct. Should have hired any of them.
Yeah. Oh, it's not Lance Henriksen.
Right, it's Stephen McHattie. Stephen McHattie, who movie that I never have time to rewatch. I believe it The Highwayman, that fucking Jason Priestley Canadian crime thriller. I believe it is pretty good, and I believe he is great in it. But yes, Stephen McHattie was William Fichtner before Fichtner was Fichtnering, or they were almost simultaneous. They should just all touch, turn into a blob.
Mm-hmm.
He was also he wasn't the hitchhiker though, was he? He was wasn't he on some
Oh,
show? Some
Hitchhiker was Paige Fletcher.
oh god, that's right. RoboCop
Came RoboCop.
3. I mean, let's be real though. You throw Stephen McHattie looks like a fucking TV Peter Weller. I love Stephen McHattie, but still. Um, okay, so now we go to the funeral. Now we never really get very close. Like, so here we've got is that Hattie Winston? She's on
Mm-hmm.
Becker. Yeah. Um, we don't not see Jeffrey in this shot. Just saying. We also aren't gonna, we don't see any of the other like cops in the establishing shot. We're gonna see them in a second, but apparently they didn't go to the funeral.
And singing is old Al Green. That's why they made this so extended, I guess.
Well, we've got a lot of, okay, so they are in suits. We have a lot of Motown music, and it's like what they're doing instead of trying to do urban 1994 music. Also,
Yeah.
Motown music, probably pretty cheap to license.
Mm,
At this point, Tenny had been on Equal Justice, a TV show with Sarah Jessica Parker and some other
mm,
folks. And then, but it would be, he was probably married to Terry Hatcher at this point. Um, he wouldn't really, he's one of these white guys who wouldn't stand out until he was in his mid 40s and had aged well, basically.
mm.
Whereas Joey Travolta, who is he looking at? Okay, so that's the other thing I noticed. There's a lot of looking dead into the camera in this one. Apparently, Bronson Pinchot also gave an interview where he said that the reason Eddie's so low energy in this is because he was depressed at the state of his career, which
Yeah,
is kind of a
because
fucked up thing to say, but also
this is 94, so it's, when did Vampire in Brooklyn come out?
95. They like
Okay.
agreed to do this if they got to do that type thing.
Yeah, for a while it was a, yeah. Uh-oh.
Okay, we're just cutting straight to Beverly Hills. We're not going to get any intro. That's also like we're not doing a very good establishing shot here either, right? Like we've seen this other building. We're not going to see the building we see in 1, 2, and 4. It's like we're going to the parking garage. This is basically like a bad Batman Returns Gotham versus Batman
Yeah.
Gotham, is what I'm saying. We're seeing it's like the RoboCop movies. We see entirely different parts of the city or the buildings. I was also thinking it's weird we have not yet talked about the possibility of a RoboCop Axel Foley crossover. Honestly, let's see who could do that. That I would watch that from the Lego movie guys. Maybe
Mm.
it'd have to be absurdist. Like it would have to be. Speaking of which, poor Judge Reinhold. It's everybody's favorite dad, Judge Reinhold, guest starring Judge
Vice
Reinhold.
versus Judge Reinhold.
Mhm. Judge Reinhold should have done a show like a Death to Smoochie movie about trying to like steal Mark Summers' thunder. That's a deep cut, folks.
Yeah, they should have really tried with Judge Reinhold. He would have been willing.
Well, he's never willing to do a sitcom, was he? He didn't do a sitcom when he should have. Oh, he had a picture of a lady
No.
on his desk behind him. It never comes up. Judge Reinhold has no character development whatsoever in this. He just is really into his shitty nerd job, cop nerd
Hmm.
job. Bogomil goes unmentioned. So does the scene where we're going to see Surge.
Mm.
Bronson Pinchot's much better in this than I thought it'd be, but also, um, that's like the
I think so.
funniest scene in the movie, potentially.
Mm.
They don't talk about Jenny Summers, despite
At all.
like him being her assistant.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's take a look here. This was a California based cop movie in 1994.
Mm.
Post LA riots. Um, Three?
That's why Landis kind of made this more LA satire than anything.
Yeah, and they don't lean enough into it, is sort of the problem. Like, you could actually do that, right? Like,
Oh yeah, the first two did it pretty well. This is more blatant, like Mad Magazine sort of comedy with the cameos and shit. And
fucking cameos are gonna. Well, okay, so that's a Landis bit.
yeah,
Okay,
it's a
I think I
bit,
just saw Eddie roll his eyes at Hector Alonso's acting. God, he's so fucking terrible. Ugh. I'm fairly
filling a
sure.
filling a hole pretty much. John Ashton, what he said, no, or
Wasn't he doing Angels in the Infield or something? Wasn't that the story that he wanted to do
yeah,
the
or something.
inspiring tale of
He's doing something else, I guess. Because Hector, he's just, you know, is the check ready?
do I get to keep the gum? Okay, so we've been talking too much shit. We haven't really mentioned that apparently Eddie and Judge Reinhold haven't seen each other or talked since the end of the last movie.
Which is weird, since,
Little bit weird because they were planning their fishing trips and shit.
yeah.
One of the other problems with this is they kind of want to make this amusement park out to seem like fucking oh, also one of the other problems is the crane just shook. But they want to make this amusement park out to be like Disneyland, and it's fucking smaller than like a zoo, right? Like,
Yeah.
how is this not Christy Swanson?
Ugh.
Like, how did her agent go, Christy, there's a role where you get to be low-key racist, Eddie Murphy? And she's just like, you know what?
She probably couldn't keep the smile up.
Mm,
See how robotic the girl is?
yeah. Look at how bad the lighting is, folks. That's what most fucking. It's like Paramount was chasing Touchstone to look worse in the 90s.
Well, look, it just looks like you could put it in black and white and it will look like a movie from like the early 60s.
Yep. They're just doing no fucking work here. Like none whatsoever. And this thing ran over, like, it went over filming, it ran over budget.
Yeah, because then they rewrite it a few times or something. Oh, God. My freshman and sophomore year haircut till I realized what
Was
the
this
fuck am
movie
I doing?
why you got rid of it?
No. Well, it might have contributed because look at that. The Colossus.
So, I assume the reason we don't have a stuntman credit also probably because the stuntmen's union didn't want anybody working with John Landis because he killed stunt people, children, and Elizabeth Mary. What? Which one is that? Jennifer Jason Leigh's dad. Um,
Mm,
is because they just fucking gave stuntmen lines. Like,
right.
okay,
Stuntmen were trying to come up.
dude, Roddy McDowell's busy. Just ask him.
Well, and yeah, that's because not that he's bad, but what's
It's
his
the
name?
perfect cameo part.
Yeah, he's kind of a weird choice. Alan Young.
Mm-hmm.
He's for a whole generation that wouldn't know. or there's
Okay, what am I? Who is he?
really he's Wilbur from Mr. Ed, and
Oh,
he was the voice of Scrooge McDuck for like 40 years.
he was Wilbur? That's Wilbur.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think I watched a lot of Mr. Ed. I watched the other one, the movie. I watched a couple of the fucking
So Francis.
Forrest that Francis. So that's who I'm thinking of. Okay. Um, that's a fucking real deep Paramount cut, like, because they would have been airing Mr. Ed on Nick at Night. In which case, you should have done this whole fucking movie as a Nick at Night thing.
Yeah, he could have got vintage cameos.
That would have been awesome if you'd gotten vintage cameos. William Shallert might have still been alive at this point, for fuck's sake.
He was probably pissed he didn't get to play Uncle Dave.
I mean, Joe Dante on that angle, that would have been really cool. Okay, so here we have Teresa Randall, who um,
Another one just getting her check because
getting her check has an entire implied subplot involving Uncle Dave that does not matter at all. But basically, we will it will I'll point it out, but it's not going to matter. Okay, so here we have Cylons. Here we have
yeah, because this
this.
sequence, that's a ride at Universal Studios. That's Earthquake. Yeah, but it doesn't have Cylons. It's just this thing where the tram goes through, it stops, and they tell you, "Oh, we're trapped in the sub, the subway tunnel," and then the earthquake starts.
It is fucking amazing that none of these ladies made it out of the 90s.
Yeah,
Like,
Teresa Randall was around for a minute.
it's
Look at
Rosie.
this.
Mhm.
Look, what is this? When a dude jumps, what the fuck?
The stuntman jumped, you mean?
That's
um,
ridiculous. What? Like they're really video game
okay, honestly, John Landis is
thugs.
either good or John Landis either makes great movies. I mean, okay, fine. I'm a Howling guy. I'm not a American Werewolf, but I live in a mixed household on that one. But Into the Night, Innocent Blood,
Hmm.
like I think those are fucking great movies. Like I will oh, hold on.
Hey,
Fuck
it's
you. Fuck you, George Lucas.
George Lucas.
What really sucks about this is when you think about the fact George Lucas was one of the guys who adopted like 9 kids.
Hmm.
He could have had his family there. That would have been awesome. But instead, he just showed up for fucking Landis. And it just, oh God, we're going to get the worst action sequence in the world.
Yeah, this was
Though, oh God, it's just all shot on green screen. Looks like a fuck. It
funny because you tell you could like this is
looks like an episode of Superboy. Like,
right, but still, it's just look at that and just
it's like a PG.
you're right. It's a PG sequence. Like
It's a PG sequence, and they should have just. It's like somebody was like, "No, we can't actually do the PG," and
this
that's
is
the
something
real problem.
they could have put this in the Rocketeer Part Two or some shit.
What they needed to do, if Eddie wanted to do this, was, and he was in the perfect position to do it. He could have been like a fucking. He could have been. I'm gonna say it. You're gonna hate it.
Mm,
John Cena.
mm.
But he could have been a PG action dad. There
Mm.
was room for that. He could have. It would have been great if he'd done another character with it, and then they could have had a crossover with Eddie. Eddie plays Axel, and what could his
Yeah,
name
that's
have
what they
been?
need to do.
Yeah,
If they're gonna do anything, crossover for the next one.
I love how I
Right.
went from being like all hype out of five to we talked about it, then I'm like, oh yeah, that's a terrible idea. We shouldn't do that. Or the
Now, this
spinoff.
this was a real ride. They used to have it at Great America.
Okay, you need to look at how bored the onlookers are.
Yeah, look at them.
No, not them. The
The
crowd.
people,
This,
yeah, the crowd are just like, ooh, look. Yeah, Eddie is really doing this.
cover your face. Cover your face.
Oh my God. Look.
He looks up at the camera and it's what's her face from Jurassic Park.
Doop, doop,
No,
doop.
these shots, just like, what are we?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Doop, doop, doop.
Honestly, I bet this plays better pan and scan because you're seeing less of it. Like, I'm gonna be real. I want to see less of each frame. That chick was just looking at the camera,
Oh wow.
questioning her choices. She's like, I wanted to go to fucking Disneyland, but no, let's go to Paramount Adventure Park.
What's weird is that they have really cool Warner Brothers parks overseas. They need to bring them shits over here. Although, who's paying to see a Police Academy stunt show in
Right.
2024?
Well, shit, man. You've seen the fucking Godzilla theme parks in Japan and shit. Like,
Yeah,
the fucking what is it, bungee? It's not bungee jumping. It's you do the slide down thing into Godzilla's mouth at
oh,
one of them. That's the one we're fucking going to.
the zip line.
Yeah,
Oh
zip line.
shit.
Yeah, yeah. So this
Watch,
should
watch.
be a great action sequence. This is a scene from Spider-Man 2 for PlayStation 5 exclusively. Wow, that was terrible. That was a terrible fucking like weird edit that they probably used computers for and still did that.
It just,
Well, no, it is really like they got a fucking. If you look at the composite on her, like around her head, like DV, Blu-ray and DVD were not kind to this movie.
no, because it looks really bad.
Oh my God, wait, it's John Landis doing another fucking stunt with kids. Jesus. I
Yeah.
mean, like, that guy sucks. That chick was looking straight into the camera too because she was thinking the same thing. Now, in a good action sequence, that falls, it opens and there was another door and it falls through them or something. Now, Eddie has just saved all these people, and the joke is in fucking 1994 Los Angeles.
Oof.
And now here we have what I would say is one of John Saxon's worst performances. It's like
Yeah, this
you
is
can't
TV
even.
level. This whole movie just has a TV level sort of feel to it.
Well, you can't go from Tony Scott to this. Like
It
there
just
needs to be a transition to
feels like A Wonderful World of Disney.
Mhm. This is the TV pilot, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, now here's the stupidest fucking part. Okay, so this was written by Stephen E. D'Souza.
Oh wow.
Um,
He was the big
folks,
man for a
he
minute.
was the big man for a minute. Let's just discuss his filmography. Oh well, dude, what? Okay. Um, D'Souza, who do I have his student film somewhere? Anyway, okay, so the videotape has been edited, and he's like, "What about the missing stuff?" And they're like, "Well, it's fucking missing, so like we're not going to worry about that because it's really stupid." Okay, Stephen E. D'Souza wrote 48 Hours. Oh my God, did he
Hmm.
really? Not by himself. Not by himself. No, Spottiswoode, Larry Gross, and Walter Hill also. Okay. He wrote Commando. He wrote The Running Man. He wrote Bad Dreams.
Really?
He co-wrote it. Now, D'Souza was basically a credited script doctor, which is
Yeah.
a big deal because
He just peppered the script with.
yeah, but he was never. That also means he was an uncredited script doctor, and this is sort of where um, who got their start. That some people got. Oh God, Joss got his start that way, but it was really more of a big deal in like the late '80s and early '90s because this is where like Carrie Fisher wrote whole was it Armageddon or something? Like
Yeah,
somebody
he wrote a
script
lot.
doctored the whole fucking every line between Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler. It was either Carrie Fisher or somebody else. But this got to be a big deal because the 90s is when, thanks to entertainment television and fucking magazines and shit like that, like people got really interested in the entertainment industry in a way that you couldn't have been before, just because of media coverage. But D'Souza was a name guy. Like he was a
Hmm.
big deal. And then this is he wrote Judge Dredd, ladies and gentlemen. Him and the guy who co-wrote Terminator 2.
Hmm.
Um, but basically after this, this was, the everybody figured it out
Hmm.
after this because he is still alive. In 1994, he wrote Beverly Hills Cop 3, The Flintstones, Street Fighter, which he also directed, and then in '95 he did Judge Dredd, and then the next thing was Knockoff in '98 with Jean Claude,
Hmm.
Possessed with Timothy Dalton in 2000, a television movie, possession TV movie starring Timothy Dalton and Henry Sursney and Christopher Plummer. Oh shit, I'm tracking this down. And Piper Laurie. He wrote. He has a story credit on Lara Croft.
Hmm.
He wrote Blast, starring Eddie Griffin
Griffin. Yeah, I
and
remember that
Vinnie
one.
Jones, and movie star Breckenmeyer.
Oh wow.
Tony Tony Tommy Lister Jr. and Vivica A. Fox, who is she's the one who fucking she's so good,
Yeah.
so fucking good. Was it Why Do Fools Fall in Love? Oh God, so good.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah. But then he created a TV show. He wrote a kids movie, Santa Claus kids movie, where William Shatner's the voice of Santa. Also, we'll be tracking that down just to be real. And basically retired at the age of 61. But like he flamed out at age 47, right? Like when the Coke ran out, he didn't have a chair.
Hmm.
K9000. He wrote K9000, dude. The Chris Mulkey TV movie with the robot dog. So weird. He wrote the Spirit TV movie that I still haven't watched.
Oh, huh.
Um,
The one that was
okay,
intended to be a movie, right?
probably given that. So here we're finding out that Uncle Dave, Mr. Mr. Ed designed the theme park and was Uncle Dave's partner, and he disappeared 2 weeks ago. And the only person he can trust is Teresa Randall, who's got a
Yeah,
very
this
mom haircut here as opposed to her work haircut, which I feel like I'm, I'm not, it's fine. She looks great. I'm just
well, it's
saying
'94.
it's 94. Yes. Okay.
A lot of women was wearing that shit. Like that
That is
throwback
true.
look.
That is true.
That's all
Um,
four girls of In Vogue right there.
I mean, that was the bit. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
Whatever happened to them? Like, how did they go
Oh,
from being, I mean, they were the biggest thing in the world for a second.
infighting,
Mm.
and one left. And eventually they replaced her, but then there was just so it's to this day actually. It's sad
I
what
mean,
goes on, you know. The original two were against the other original two, and
oh, so there was like a VH1 true story, is what you're saying.
well, there's that, and yeah, just like how the Temptations fell out and all that.
Okay, so we had an acronym joke here because that's funny. Now we have a gun show where we're not going to see any of the other stuff. We don't really get an establishing shot of the floor, but here we have Bronson Pinchot,
Bronson
what,
Pinchot
two
show.
years after Perfect Strangers ended?
Yeah. And then for a minute, I can't remember when exactly though. It was I know after Sasha Mitchell left, but they tried to use him as the replacement
No,
wacky guy. Yeah,
no,
on
I didn't know
Step
that.
by Step. Yeah,
Oh my God,
they tried it.
ABC.
They tried it
Oh,
like twice on that show.
when
That's how
ABC,
irreplaceable Sasha Mitchell was to that show. He was like the Urkel of that show, and they tried twice. There was some guy who lasted like maybe 2 or 3 episodes.
that's nice
Then they
because I was
tried,
going to say he was like the Jonathan Majors of that show.
and then Pinchot they brought in, and of course he has some wacky accent. You know,
Where's he from? Like Pittsburgh?
yeah, he's from like
Pawtucket. Okay, so this scene very much plays like Eddie wants to be in Metro. Judge Reinhold thinks there might be like a dad show in this. And Bronson Pinchot's like, wait a second. Don't you remember we were in Beverly Hills Cop 1 together? I wasn't in 2, but I was in 1. You know, Lisa Elbacher was in it. Remember Lisa Elbacher? Why don't you remember this movie, Eddie? And
weapons.
he and this is one of those sequences that if you threw another $300 at, it would be 400 times better. Like, because it's like a
Yeah,
little bit of practical effects, or you could have
it
done it a
has.
little bit better.
It just has that standard Landis look, the way everybody's staged and standing, and
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, come on, it's hard to think of more than two shots.
but
Um,
I'll say this: I still love the Blues Brothers, though. That might be his best one, besides Coming to America. Oh, Trading Places.
Trading Places. Um,
So he was good
he
for
was
a
good,
minute.
and then he went to shit, is kind of what
Yeah,
happens. And when you think about the scale of this, Why is there not an establishing shot of the other guns? Why are we not having other like? Why are we not seeing Eddie and Judge Reinhold seeing the other guns? Why is Judge Reinhold not at the Rambo booth? Why
Yeah,
does Judge Reinhold not have a fucking knife? It's
it looks
5 more minutes.
it looks a lot like they just had a corner and filmed it
Right.
in a corner
It
somewhere.
looks like they went to a fucking convention center and like, well, it's also 1994. They probably fucking went to like a gun thing and got to shot and shoot in a corner. Like
Hmm. Oh.
booth babes. So um we're not going to go to the club, folks. We're not going to the strip club. There is no champagne in the, or there's no sex in the champagne room. There's also no you're getting a 976 commercial at an 11:02 976 commercial, and then we're done. Like, I don't, excuse me, everyone. I should have muted. Not bad enough. Maybe we'll even write down the time code. It's, it'll be fun. Okay. That's Julie Strain, who was a B
Yeah,
something who never tried to cross over. That was the one difference about Julie Strain was she never tried to cross over into
she
the.
was Heavy Metal 2000,
Mhm.
which was awful. Uh,
So here we get this gun. We don't see any of the. Do we see it even in this shot? I think we saw it in the establishing shot. This is super shitty because this is also like post. Well, I mean, specialized gun shit was a big deal in this era, right? Like
hmm.
the gun, super guns, right? Eraser was entirely about a super gun, and that was 2 years later. The RoboCop movies, like a bit gun could have been a thing,
Yeah,
like
that there.
the pulse rifle, like all
They
sorts of
could
that
have.
shit.
They also could have made it, yeah, a little sleeker.
Well, also, yeah, I mean that, but it's like,
It's a
is that
big made
another
in a
thing
garage looking thing,
that like we're suffering because of Landis? Because like
Yeah, because he's doing a lot of absurdist shit, and it doesn't fit in.
this, if you're doing like if you want to do Axel Foley and Naked Gun,
Yeah, because look at that. The kids in the fucking
mhm,
suits. That's a gag. It's
it's like a fucking Zaz movie,
yeah.
but like Landis is like, well, I actually came up with that with Amazon Women on or what Kentucky Fried Movie. Difference is you can watch Police Squad in 2024. Um, though those guys all fucking are garbage, fucking white men, just bad guys. So then, I mean, we get our. I think this is our last crane shot in the movie,
Mm.
but like this is sitcom level shit here. Like, just
Yeah, it's ugh. Eddie just looks miserable. He's not so much mad here than more, why am I doing this shit?
mhm. This is the I actually need the $15 million. This isn't a pool movie. This is I need that $15 million.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's particularly bad is that in two, he and Judge Reinhold had like residual, like they all had chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
In this, it's kind of like it's like if Terrence Howard and Robert Downey Jr. made a movie again together, and there was a little bit of resentment from one of them toward the other. Like Eddie might be down on his luck, but Judge Reinhold is doing that. Judge Reinhold is
See, look at that. It's staged so.
look at Saxon. Like Saxon even looks miserable. Like they get everybody's looking bored. I mean, the stunt guys here. Is this guy actually a football player, or does he just look like he always played a football player?
He's been around. That guy. I think that's what's her name's husband in real life. The wife from Rock. And he played
Oh,
the cop in Sleepwalkers. He was a cop with the cat. Close.
like
Oh,
no reaction shots initially. See, this is like a Joe Dante. Actually, this script seems like it was written for Joe Dante.
yeah, but we higher energy. It's real tepid. Like,
Well, right. I think. Well, okay. So let's also not. We haven't really also talked about the fact that Jerry Bruckheimer has nothing to do with those. We haven't
mm-mm.
seen the producers' names yet. When we get to them, they're going to be the most milk toast fucking Paramount producers in the '90s and shit.
When did Simpson die?
His name's still on
His name is still on.
The
Like, I think
Rock, right? So I
they
think he
kept it
died
on.
in 90 around now.
Hmm. Because I know they kept it. Oh, there's Joe Dante.
Speaking of, get to work, sir.
Where's that
Um,
Gremlins 3 asshole?
no, I don't. I could look up Joe Dante. I'd rather be looking up Joe Dante. Instead, I'm going to look up Don Simpson. 96, man. He was still 96. Oh, I forgot.
Hmm.
I forgot The Rock wasn't the comeback. The Rock was just when they gave up in a way and just made that. Because The Ref, Bad Boys, Crimson Tide, and Dangerous Minds, that's very different from what Jerry did, just doing Michael Bay movies,
Hmm.
I would say. Okay, so here we get McHattie talking about stuff. Um,
He's in no way convincing.
like 94. Was James Woods coked out again? Was he in rehab again? Could they have gotten him? I bet they could have gotten James Woods. We can
Maybe.
we have to cast this before we know
Oh,
what utter
James Woods
garbage
would
so
have.
many
Yeah,
people are.
James Woods would have been the main guy. We would have been Ellis DeWalt.
Can you imagine? Actually, if you got Eddie to turn it up and you got James Woods, 90s James Woods to turn it up.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody, wait, hold on. Judge Reinhold's being really funny here because he's in his gear. Hold on, everybody, wait. Everybody, stop. The worst fucking setup ever. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, how did they not? Well, they probably couldn't afford it. Well,
No.
then again, maybe not.
They had fucking, even without Eddie, this movie cost $55 million in 1994. See,
How do you
I
not have a
think
cameo from the Baywatchers?
See, I think they did a Baywatch cameo, and I think it got cut. Or I think they wanted to, and somebody was just like, "Fuck you, no."
Because wasn't it big by '94?
Mhm. Trailer moment, everybody. Trailer moment.
Hmm.
So we talked about last time how Axel was very Sherlock Holmesy.
Hmm.
In this one, I think he does this and one other thing, I think, but basically Stephen E. D'Souza, nobody filled in those parts Stephen E. D'Souza left a note for. But we are barely halfway through, and we are finally getting to the meat of the story here of the crime. Um, Also reminds me of how exciting it was when you were young and you carried your first $50 bill on the regular. Okay. Other things we haven't talked about are Hector Alonso wants to go work at Wally World.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so like he's going to be a suspect of being a double cross agent. This is some fucking Nickelodeon. This
Yeah.
is it's a very special episode with Eddie Murphy.
Keenan and Kel crossover
Mhm.
where they botch the crimes and they get in his way.
This movie is basically how desperate
Oh God, Helen Martin.
is Eddie Murphy going to be, and them taking advantage of it, basically. So, in a much better, or even vaguely better, or even RoboCop 3, they would have established the fucking dance earlier so we could see Eddie fucking it up. But we don't even have that level of
They, they
creativity.
they have him do it, but then the kid does the exact same shit.
Well, no, we don't get an establishing shot, so it doesn't
Oh
matter.
yeah. Oh no. There's
Like,
that.
I mean, actually, I was just gonna say they couldn't even get the stuntman to do it, right? But no, they couldn't. They couldn't get the stuntman to do it because he was like, "Fuck you, I'm a scab. I'm not doing it."
Hmm.
John Landis, murderer John Landis. Oh, I'm sorry. It's called manslaughter. Manslaughter John Landis. Child manslaughter, actually. Manslaughter of children, John Landis. Here in the background there, we see this like shot of Alan Young in a promo thing. That should have been a recurring bit. There were some we're going to see some safety signs. There are only two of them, and it's like that should have been a production design thing. Like, where did the money go? Is kind of the question.
Eddie
No, he only got 15 million.
or Landis.
No, Landis would not have been command. Landis theoretically could have gotten a million, but no, he didn't.
Uh-huh. This is actually they had a falling out during this.
One can imagine why. Oh, also, it's the mid 90s, so the ladies are fucking hot for the leads. They can't even hold it in.
Yeah, poor Teresa Randall just isn't. She's very mechanical.
It's very weird because, yeah, she's basically got like the nerd guy role or something,
Right.
but
Like,
because Axel doesn't have a female, he hasn't had like a.
a romantic
I
interest.
mean, quite honestly, this is the longest we've seen Axel interact with another black person in these movies.
Yeah.
And it's written by Stephen E. D'Souza by himself. Like, he does not have any interest in that romance. Because theoretically, no. The daughter should have been born by now, right?
Probably.
Timeline wise. So, yeah, we need to. So, yes, Axel F retcons the fuck. I mean, basically, it acknowledges this movie exists, but it will not reference any of the events in it. And for the events in Axel F to have occurred, Eddie might have or Axel might have a kid right now off screen and be married or something. I can't remember how they talk about mom
Mm,
um in Axel F, but then Taggart would have to unretire for or move
right. You
back
have to
from
come back.
Arizona or something. Okay, so this sequence should be great. You remember how toys sucked? Let's do that. You know, toys has some people who like it. We disagree. Um,
Mm, mm.
we can disagree about a lot. Anyway.
Choice was,
Oh.
Jesus.
I miss the 90s unwatchable movies though. Toys, Jimmy Hollywood.
Oh,
I watched I finally like watched Joe versus the Volcano start to finish, and I'm just like, gee, it's like you want me to stop watching this. Dun dun dun. Oh
oh
look, it's Eddie
no.
in a mirror. Hey everybody, check it out. So also, this is 94, right? Like we'd had Lethal Weapon 2 in 92, right? Yeah. Um,
Mm,
so we'd sort
no.
of no,
Two
two was or no,
was
three.
89.
Three.
Three was
Three was
90.
82. 92?
Three, three was
90.
92 or 93.
So we had sort of done, I mean, I think you could say that Lethal Weapon 3 hits that point where, yeah, it was May 92.
Mm.
Fuck you, Mel Gibson. Just fuck you. Why didn't you just get COVID and die? God, it would have been like nobody died. No fucking piece of shit. I mean, yes, some piece. Anyway, but fuck you, Mel Gibson. Sorry. Everyone, I'm using the app Call Sheet right now on my iPhone. Highly recommended. I wonder if I can get it to block Mel Gibson's face. Um, anyway, that sort of hit what we were going for with action comedy, right? Like everything
Yeah.
was trying it. Bruce Willis never actually achieved it, right? Like the most sort of obvious person never achieved it. But like
Mm-mm.
Lethal Weapon 3 sort of hit the right notes of
Even though it
action.
was the least, it wasn't the best of any of them. It
Right.
was really, it was the lamest, it's the lamest one.
I don't know, 4.
Four was great.
Yeah.
Four was like the comeback.
Mm.
His three was what the cop killer bullets. And that was the one they said they didn't have a script for, I think.
No, it was 4 they didn't have a script for. 3
Mm.
was, yeah, but 3 they didn't never had a script. They had a script for 1 and 2. Uh, like, no, yeah, you want to look at what they can do with the script. They can do Maverick with the script. But like, yeah, no, 3.
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, I find it hard to want to go back and rewatch them right now. It's very
Mm.
strange. They keep bumping Mel's comeback directorial action movie with Marky Mark and Topher Grace and Michelle
Oh, the plane.
Dockery, the plane one.
Oh god.
I'm just like, God damn. Like, I know, I feel like Michelle Dockery better be careful because she might think she can always be in Downton Abbey, but like at some point, she's gonna
Mm.
cross a line and they're gonna fucking just kill her off because you're gonna go too far for even Downton Abbey.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, they keep bumping it. Like, because I think they really they always think he's gonna be able to come back. And it's just like, he's not. Stop. Nobody's gonna book him on the Tonight Show. Stop.
Yeah, the Johnny days
This
are long over. The Jay
this
Leno
should be
days
a
are over.
thing. Like, and it's not like,
But here's where it's really oddly prophetic because somebody's going to be videotaping it. See,
mm-mm.
the guy with a
Dude,
camera
no.
nowadays.
Right, but no. This is post Rodney King.
Oh yeah, that's who.
Yeah, like
And he's the only one with a camera.
this is fucking. mm, I didn't even think of that really when I was watching it before. The timing.
Oh, speaking of which, I wish I'd have whipped my camera out fast enough. Last night I was in an intersection coming back home, and some jackass decides to start doing donuts in the middle of the street.
Holy shit!
But look at this. He's driving a car with the Dunkin' Donuts decal on the side. It was the craziest shit I ever saw, man.
It's the youth. It's what they got to do for their TikToks.
Like he did at least six in a row in the middle of the damn intersection and then drove the fuck off.
McCaddy would have made a great Joker.
Yeah, he'd be a scary one, but he'd have to have the manic part down too. Because the Joker's not a. I don't like
Dark Knight
tame
Returns
Joker.
Joker. Yeah, that's true. Dark Knight Returns Joker though. Wow, I bet that characterization ages. Anyway, we get really boring energy from Saxon here. Like Saxon ought to be.
Yeah, he's kind of a useless villain in this.
Well, no, we have like 6 fucking sub villains in this. It's idiotic.
Well, there's that one guy who's always
Mm, I bet he's been a
The
police captain in quite a few Canadian productions.
but he's always the foot soldier.
Super bad is really, really bad right here. Um, okay, so this is actually not a bad idea. Like they're
Mm,
using the professional looking fake money printers. They're changing out the money, the paper to make
hmm
fake money. Um, I actually remembered this scene being much better.
No,
I
it's
did.
always
I
hokey.
remembered it. I remembered it being, or at least some of this being much
See,
better.
with dude standing there smirking like,
Oh no, I don't mean the actual content of the scene. I just remember them it being shot from like the rafter area or something, and
Mhm.
like much better lighting. You know what's really exciting, everybody? Shooting most of your movie in a fucking basement.
Uh,
That is like his outfit from Metro, right? Like,
yeah, with the exception of he grew his hair out in the dreadlocks. But yeah, that's pretty much how he's dressed in Metro.
what? No,
Mhm.
what? No, he didn't.
Yeah.
He had,
Well, they're not long, they're braids, but
okay.
it wasn't dreads, but
Oh, fucking A. Rappaport's in that. I don't know if I want to watch that.
eh. I walked into it slow too, but he's in it for very little. So, to the point
Okay.
where,
Also, Rappaport sucks, but he was not always bad. He just
uh,
sucked.
I think
Uh,
his least annoying was probably Men of Honor, and his character is supposed to be annoying in that.
right. Just saw, I think I was on like a Threads post or something where somebody was like, my high school drama teacher once worked with John Voight. She's like, you'll never quite understand how someone so incredibly stupid can still act.
Huh. Uh-huh. It's written in Wonderworld. Yeah.
This feels like it's film. Oh
What?
my
What?
God.
What?
Like, wait, why aren't they filming it on location better? No, no. Innocent Blood has establishing shots. Innocent Blood has crane shots. They have a whole thing where Angela Bassett's the DA on the hill and the mist and shit. They do a whole thing. There's lots of crane shots in that. Why is that not the level? Like, look at the fucking lighting. Make it the put them under the blue lights of Crystal Lake, ladies and gentlemen. Put them under the blue lights
Mm-hmm.
of Crystal Lake. It should look as good as an episode of 90210. That's all I'm saying. As good as an episode of 90210. It looks like Silk Stockings. It looks like Silk Stockings, or maybe even Baywatch Nights. It looks real bad.
Yeah, it's flat looking. Like I say, it will probably look better in black and white. It at least had that classic movie look
Mm-hmm.
because that's the way it's shot. It just hmm, why does it look like he's about to cry?
Is this the first or second time we've had this? Eddie's gonna have dipshit at gunpoint. At least has already done it once, or he's gonna do it one more time. And Landis can't not figure out how to direct it, and um, Dana's baby daddy can't figure out how to act it. Like,
Oh,
yep.
I hate the dun 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 dun, 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 done by a whole orchestra. Dun dun dun
Well, because
dun
it's like
dun
the
dun.
music thinks it's spoofing a James Bond movie.
Mm. Dun, 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 dun,
So now Eddie's not going to lose another father figure,
dun, dun.
but we
No.
never established that that was a father figure because.
Well, he's Uncle Dave.
Mm-hmm.
He's a replacement, Roy Wally. I mean, Walt Disney, who everybody was supposed to love.
Uh-huh. Like, why? It's your movie. Why didn't you just put that part in? Like,
Dun 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 dun.
hey, I bet
Well,
that's a
after
famous movie director. Oh God, this is where it's really bad. So the bit here, there is actually no bit here.
no, he doesn't
So,
even finesse his way into the
well, no, it's even worse than that
establishment.
because they're gonna do a sketch of a black guy on TV that looks like him. And okay, all of these directors, all of those people are movie directors, and not Ray Harryhausen, but Ray Bradbury is there as well.
Well,
So,
Harryhausen is in this too, somewhere.
is he somewhere? Okay. Um, so then
I think.
they missed the joke, I guess, like because that's what they're also not willing to do is they're not willing to really make fun of white people in 1994. Like we don't get do you love rap music?
No. Mm.
Hurry up, movie. How much longer? I actually don't know if we've ever done an episode like this. Okay, so they see him on that amateur video, right?
Mm.
Where, okay, that's a really weird amateur video, right? Like, that's a really
Right.
weird, but anyway, like just Eddie's behavior, like, it's obvious there's something going on. But then they all turn and look in the corner, and it's like, oh, nobody noticed him when he came in because we weren't willing to make that joke, but
No,
all
they
of
didn't even
us
look over
know
there.
where the black guy is. The
Right. They have.
joke was it was like a picture of fucking Chris, no, Tony Lister,
Mm,
and they all look at Eddie Murphy. That's where the joke was. Or there was somewhere else with the video that there's a joke or something, but not there. And it's like they aren't, they have no fucking stones on this one. They got no,
mm-mm.
like, Eddie's not helping them with this.
No, he just showed up.
Eddie's willing to go down with the ship. Like, he doesn't, because it's not his ship.
No.
Okay, so now the gun show's over, but Eddie's going to get the floor model of the gun, which we haven't seen yet in person or something. Like, it's like they had trouble making the prop. How do you have trouble making a gun prop in fucking Hollywood, for God's sake?
Or just get something from something else modified.
Right. Like, it's get a fucking Star Trek gun, your Paramount Pictures, for fuck's sake. Like, why is this so difficult?
Oh, look at that Six Flags theme park.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that's bigger than the fucking um for some reason it reminds me of the New Orleans Zoo, like with the
Mm,
entrances, possibly because that's the last place I was like this, which is a long ass time ago at this point. But it doesn't seem any bigger than that. Like, it's not big. It's not a big theme park. It's
no.
silly. Haha, let's print the money. She gets like no lines in this. It's like they were like, hey,
That's why she's very blank. Like she doesn't have any. She's not emoting well.
you know how you do this better? You have her know Jenny, and Jenny bring Axel out to investigate Wonderworld after the case goes cold in
Mm.
Detroit. The version that has Paul Reiser in it. And but so the original plan was apparently that Ronnie Cox, he was going to kill Ronnie Cox.
Mm.
And Ronnie Cox wasn't willing to come back, so they killed Todd instead as the dramatic impetus because there's no other reason Axel would be there.
Would even yeah
Okay, wait for this fucking weird sequence out of like a fucking Mission Impossible background.
yeah this shit here.
Hey, let's get rid of them for a while. But you see, Eddie's been working on his punches. Like,
Mm-hmm.
is shooting. Mm-hmm.
This is a very dull action sequence.
See, that's the thing is, you have to be. You might not have to be two.
Oh, it's it's mocking a Batman fight with guns.
It honestly feels like a fucking amusement park stunt show. Oh, because they didn't have any stunt men. That's why. I mean, we'll get there. There's no. I don't think there's a stunt coordinator. I don't think it's just there's no fucking stunt men credited. I
Mm.
think this is all choreographed by fucking John Landis.
He got distracted by a chair. Look at that.
Yep. But I was gonna say, one is not a Tony Scott movie, but you gotta bring at least the energy as one. that's the franchise establishment, right? Like that's where people get upset is when you fucking change the fucking action formula, like the fucking quality action. Okay, so they forgot about them. They didn't kill them.
Uh-uh.
Like, just gonna say it. That should have been her and Eddie getting snuggly while Billy's doing fucking Rambo shit. While Billy fucking
Uh-uh.
breaks like he's Gizmo and Gremlins 2. That's your you want to do that movie? You kill off fucking Bogomil and Todd in some connected thing. It inspires both of them. Yeah, but you'd still need whatever, but still. Gee, there's lots of ways to make this movie better. Like, for example, not having this scene.
This cartoon gun.
Right, and this is some
Isn't that
PG shit. This is some
that
PG
that's
13 shit.
that looks like a remodel of the Honey I Shrunk the Kids thing. The shrink ray.
Right.
See, it's playing Jerry Lewis music. Uh,
Is that our first action scene death?
uh,
Imagine John Landis coming up to you and being like, I'm gonna blow something up behind you. Is that okay?
right? Like, no, thank you, John. Kind of like life.
Like, why
There's
isn't there a
helicopters around.
fucking this is 19 yeah, right. This is 1994. Why isn't there a Dan Aykroyd cameo?
Yeah, that's what this movie could have needed. Yeah, well, he could have actually been in it somehow.
Well, or just gonna say it, why isn't Arsenio Eddie's sidekick in this?
Oh no, this is '94.
Like,
Arsenio was trying to be independent of Eddie because there was too much of that.
was there two? When was no? Because
Yeah, for a while he got like clowned for being Eddie's buddy,
yeah, but if they're good together,
and then there was the show. Actually, '94 was around the time the show was coming to an end, and eventually
right?
he ended up on what you call it? What's that? Martial law. Maybe about a year after his show ended. Yeah, it was a weird time for Arsenio.
It needed something like that. This movie needs a fucking. It needs a gimmick. It's 7 years later. It needs a comeback gimmick, and they don't do any of that. Can't imagine why it was a fucking box office bomb. Like,
Oh wait, wait. Here comes a funny cameo. Because, Flint's just out there at a fire somewhere.
Flint's job is never. It's always got to be something vaguely suspicious because we're supposed to suspect him.
There you go.
Yep. Oh, good guys with Uzis. We talked about that last week. It's
Mm.
1994.
Yeah, this whole end sequence is just.
When does he fight the dinosaurs? Is this it? Okay. You missed the toys energy before. Let's bring it back. This is what I do not understand about. So when I say the toys energy, um, I'm talking about being behind the scenes at like a physical amusement park or in a Toys also has a scene where you're the one I'm really thinking of is the giant Godzilla city or the life size God, not the life size Godzilla city, but you're on the Godzilla set. Here we're on the ride, we're amidst all these things. The promise of this scene is like it being, you know,
Suspenseful.
suspenseful, but also like you're seeing these things from an entirely different perspective with heightened intensity, right? Like Eddie's gonna get thrown by the woolly mammoths or something, right? Because like it's a dramatic action scene, or you're
It
not
doesn't
seeing
help
it,
that
and
the
it's
ride looks
just
shitty.
like yeah, it looks like shit. But I think we get dinosaurs here. But then we're in post Jurassic Park world. Yeah, we're in post Jurassic Park dinosaur shit. And it's just like, this is the type of thing an amusement park would have put out in 1984 and gotten made fun of for not being Disney.
Yeah.
This is like why Six Flags was like, no, Paramount Pictures will actually do our own promotion. We don't need you to help. Go, John Ashton. Nope.
Ugh,
Who killed John Ashton?
John Saxon.
John Saxon.
Oh, look, it's a T Rex.
That could have been a bit too. I do like we got a hardhead over here. I did like hardhead. That's cute. Behind the scenes. Here we get
Yeah.
Billy just liking a fucking random, but here we do get Billy the badass for a second.
Hmm.
But they weren't that's what it is. They didn't have stunt people. It all fucking makes sense now. Okay, so we're gonna get this. Boom, 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 right? And then
Whoa.
right. Hopefully he's wearing a vest. Here we get John Ash or Hector Alonso. Everybody is John Ashton in this. You're either Judge Reinhold, Eddie Murphy, who is also Axel Foley, or you are John Ashton. That is what I've decided. Okay, so here is where we're going to establish that Hector Alonso is probably not the turncoat because he kills one of these bad guys. You should have gotten Peter Weller for the John Saxon part. He would have been down. He must have been.
Yeah.
He was
I
about
just
to
watched what's that? Star Trek Into Darkness.
mm,
He got robbed in that because his character should have been the main bad guy in that.
yep,
That whole storyline, they should have just went with that.
yep. God, this is so boring. How are they not on a roller coaster doing this? You know why? Because they don't have any stunt peoples.
The wall looks like he's wearing a wig.
It's just as bad acting.
Just something off about his hair too. Oh,
So this could be the reshoots you're talking about because this is going to set up this whole stupid ending that has no bearing on the. This whole ending bit is nonsense. Okay. Um, I think before we started recording, okay, and now it's just done.
mm,
Hector Alonso didn't have to do anything. Eddie just got the gun and shot him. It was fine. In the pre-show, lost to time. I was planning on spending a lot of our time today talking about the decline of Paramount Pictures in the 90s.
hmm.
And we did not, but here's the thing that I um, just realized, even though we didn't get around to that, because I didn't think about how I needed a list to look at the list. Okay, so the bit is they all got shot up, but they all are fine. Haha.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because that's a Beverly Hills Cop bit. We've done that in every one of the movies before, or something. Um, it would be funny if they had done that, like with the other characters never dying, like the like Paul Rubens and Beverly Buffy, but they don't. There's no setup for it, so it's just dumb. But what I was going to say about Paramount was in the '80s, Paramount was the coolest of the main studios.
Yeah, well, it's because it had
It
the
had
top tier
Eddie.
franchises.
It had Top Gun. It
Yep.
had
Star Trek,
mhm,
Friday 13th. I
Friday
mean, they
13th.
were
It
just
was yeah, it was cool. And then the '90s hit, and they didn't. They just fucking floundered.
they invested in TV. That's what it was.
Mm,
You
that's
know,
true.
Star
Their
Trek
TV,
spin-offs.
but also their other shit. Like
Yeah, they had a lot of other
I,
shit.
that's kind of odd that Wings is edgier than Beverly Hills Cop 3. I'm just gonna say that
Oh, look, it's happy.
they're gonna go off and have awkward sex because Eddie's really fucked up. Okay, so we didn't get a fucking Beverly Hills Cop 3 intro. Like, we're gonna do end credits only. No, I did not thumbs up Zoom. That is not what the. So Mace Neufeld and Robert Reamy, who are not Jerry Bruckheimer. These are
Mm,
not gentlemen who fucking buy cocaine at 7:30 a.m. Okay. We are on the
they're good dudes.
lookout for anything that says stunts.
Nile Rodgers,
Mm-hmm. Okay, Robert
Eddie Murphy.
Reamy was a Paramount producer. He also did Clear and Present Danger and Patriot Games. I'm sorry, this film is from the producer of the Harrison Ford Jack Ryan movies. And this is what the personality is. Oh, I got to start on Vice Squad, no wonder. Okay, and then
Oh,
Mace Neufeld, who's currently doing The Equalizer. Oh, he's doing Tom Clancy's problematic as fuck Jack Ryan. Cool. Mace Neufeld also did The Punisher, which is potentially on the watch list. But yes, this movie is from the producers, the thing of The Saint as well. I like The Saint. And General's Daughter, which is a atrocious piece of shit. Okay, here we go. Come on, stunts. Come on. I want to see the stunt credit. Al Green gets credited. That's how they
Uh,
got him to do it. They were like, you will get
I
residuals from this too.
don't know. In association with Eddie Murphy Productions.
Landis with his fucking producer or something? Like, what?
Paramount Pictures presentation.
Okay, we have not seen the word stunts yet. I will point out all. Detroit disc jockey got a credit. That's interesting. Everybody got residuals on this. They were like, I promise you, you will get a check for 1 cent every 20 years.
uh, Martha Coolidge. Wow.
It was Ray Harryhausen. It wasn't Ray Bradbury. I'm sorry, folks. I stand corrected.
Arthur Hiller.
And then everybody who played one of the fucking animals got a credit. Like, what? That's really weird. It's a weird crediting. That's weirder than crediting King Kong and Lady Kong at the beginning of the King Kong Lives credits. It's fucking weird. They didn't say anything. Stunt rigger, stunt
Mm-hmm.
coordinator.
Coordinator.
2 credits. Where are the stunt people? Is what I would like to know. You know, Landis was like, it'll be cheaper not if I do it because I want to stunt people. And
They even
Paramount was
credited
like,
the person that made the mascot costumes.
this poor film. Like this sad film. This list of people who all did bad work on a bad movie. Like whoever kept the clothes clean did a good job. That's about it.
Why are the credits so long though?
Because they gotta get to a legit length. Oh, they wanted to get over 99 minutes. I was no, because when I watched it through, I was like desperately waiting to see Al Leong's name,
Hmm.
but I didn't, and I didn't. And then I was like, well, where were the stunt credits? I don't remember any stunt credits, and it's because I bet the stunt person's union was like, no. What time are you filming, John Landis? But yes, so here we get our soundtrack that has a In Excess song, which is a little late for when they should have been using In Excess. But
Yeah, so it's long after they were the hot group.
we got Tony a little bit late, but we're a long way from we're gonna have the fucking hit soundtrack.
Shy.
And then we have Terrence Trent D'Arby doing
Yeah.
a cover in the exact same way the song sounds. Oh, look, he thanked sexual predator Max Landis. That's weird. That's a weird vibe. Paramount's Great America?
Universal Studios tour. Oh, so They have a Great America out there too.
They did in 1994.
I always thought it was Great Adventure. Hmm. Maybe it is. I don't know. Because they call it something different everywhere.
Right.
Magic Mountain. They have Magic Mountain out there.
Well,
It
hated
was
it.
still Paramount Communications,
Yep.
or it became Viacom probably the next year.
Who knew the oil company would be the best owner for Paramount? Who knew? Join me for my 17-hour YouTube monologue about the silhouette logo and how it conveys institutional hipness in the 1980s. Um, that was fucking sad. It's kind of not because Eddie wasn't trying. So it's like
No, it was, yeah, he just
nobody.
really tapped out.
My empathy is for Teresa Randall at this point. Like nobody else really.
Yeah, but she didn't really,
No, but like
she
she
didn't really
didn't
bring it herself.
deserve that. She didn't. I mean, she didn't have a chance. She didn't get to talk when she was a hostage.
No, she didn't
They
say anything.
literally pawned her off to Judge Reinhold. She's like, "You're going to be Axel Foley's first ever love interest, and your big scene's going to be with Judge Reinhold in the cold when there are no stakes." The Blob is not come to get you. But they did the Blob remake. Ah,
Hmm.
very sad. Very sad, Paramount. Right? No, they didn't. TriStar did the Blob remake. What? But it feels like it's practically an 80s Paramount. Anyway.
Hmm.
So next week we will not be watching Axel F quite yet. Next
Uh-uh.
week we will be making another decision with our lives, and we will be watching from director
Hmm.
Barenthal Sonnenfeld and screenwriter, creator of the gritty FX series The Shield, Sean Ryan, who, oh God, he does SWAT on CBS. Okay, well, I guess he earns a living. We will be watching, starring Judge Reinhold. Who else do I recognize? Kevin Pollak, Christine Lottie. Ooh, ooh, David, the Office's shitty boyfriend, David Denham.
Hmm.
Brandon T. Jackson of Percy
Big Mama 3.
Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. And of course, Edward Regan Murphy will be watching 2013's Beverly Hills Cop, the TV pilot.
Oh,
Ooh-wee.
what an agonizing piece of work that is.
So, be a short episode, folks. But it's always good when you see a high profile TV pilot where literally none of the supporting cast went on to anything.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, we will be watching Beverly Hills Cop 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5.
So now Brandon T. Jackson, who's got an interesting choice for his IMDb profile picture. Well, he now how old is he? 1984.
Hmm.
So this one takes place in the universe where Axel had a kid the whole time. Aaron. He had a kid named Aaron.
I think he's playing younger.
I feel like 1984 Axel Foley would name his kid Prince or something like that. That would have been funny.
Hmm.
Anyway, so that will be next week. If you chose to recently watch Beverly Hills Cop 3, I'm sorry. You don't ever have to do that again. And if you haven't, you don't ever have to do that. Anything else?
No, yeah, this one, I could take it or leave it. It's just bad. It wasn't good.
No.
It's not that funny. Uh, yeah, yeah, that's it. I got nothing. Glad it's over with. Cause, yeah, yeah, that's it.
I never want to see those actors again. I never want to see baby's baby daddy in anything again. John Saxon or John Saxon. I mean, not a graceful career. Judge Reinhold, graceful career. Okay, we'll be back. 10? No, how long? 19 years later? No, 1994. Oh my God, it is.
Mm-hmm.
19 years later. Beverly Hills Cop 2013.
Join us, won't you? Good night, folks.
And Detroit hot, the engines roar. Axles on the move like never before. A plan in place, a raid on the ring. But danger comes with a darker sting. 4 men arrive, a box in tow. Government crates and secrets to know. Wonder World showdown under the sun, where the shadows hide and the danger runs. A fight for justice, the truth to be found in the Wonder World showdown, the battlegrounds. Heart's been lost, a friend and guide. Axel's heading west with vengeance inside. To Beverly Hills, the clues they lead to a place of thrills where secrets breed. Duo stands tall with the smile so bright, but Axel knows he's hiding in plain sight. Wonder World showdown under the sun, where the shadows hide and the danger runs. A fight for justice, the truth to be found in the Wonder World showdown, the battlegrounds. In the hardcore dreams, a counterfeit scheme with paper trails that aren't what they seem. Axel's on the run, his name in the fray. With Billy and Flint, they'll save the day. A shootout erupts, the bullets fly. Axel won't stop until the villains die. D-Wall falls, the truth revealed. For Bright's deceit, his fate is sealed. Justice served in the world of fun. Axel stands tall, his mission done. Wonder World showdown under the sun, where the shadows hide and the danger runs. A fight for justice, the truth to be found in the Wonder World showdown, the battlegrounds. A hero's welcome, a new name to see. Axel Fox in the park's marquee. With Janice by his side, the story's grown in the Wonder World showdown, Axel's throne.